Hey there, it's Dr. Fee Enkelman, and I love helping women overcome burnout so they can reconnect with themselves and find their bliss. And today I am so excited. This is one of my most favorite things that I get to do. I'm here with one of our gorgeous clients, one of our graduates from our Finding Bliss program, Megan. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Fee, I'm great, thank you.
Yay, it's so good that you've joined us. We're so grateful that you're here. And the reason is because you've got such a story to share. And I know that there are so many women out there who need to hear what you have to share, your journey, where you were and what you've discovered and what's helped and all of that. So for all of you who are looking for some inspiration, tune in. And I'm certain you'll get exactly what you need where you're at right now. So Megan, here we are, finally.
Yay.
Finally. It's been a few months in the making, and I'm so glad. So let's take a little trip down memory lane, back in the days of burnout.
Mm-hmm.
It's a few months ago, because obviously you've been in our graduate in our next level programs since January, but back last year I know we had a powerful conversation. I'd love to invite you to share with everyone, really, what did burnout mean to you? What did it look like at that time?
Burnout for me at that time was just my back was against the wall. I had nowhere to go. I was probably at my lowest point ever. I was still recovering from grief from the death of my mum. I was battling chronic anxiety. I was in my room hibernating away from my family. I was not socializing, and if I did have social events, I either cancelled at the last minute, or when I was there, I wasn't present. I wasn't finding joy. I probably at that point was also depressed. I'd not suffered from depression before, but I think I probably was at that point. I felt like I was failing on all levels. I wasn't, being as a mum the way I wanted to be, being as a wife the way I wanted to be, being as a friend, a colleague the way I wanted to be. I just felt like I wasn't turning up to my life.
Yeah.
That life was just barreling along and I had no control, and it had to change. It just had to change, but I had no clue how to do it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty miserable place to be in.
And it sounds like just, obviously with such big life circumstances, such as losing your mum and, being caught in that spiral, whether it's depression or anxiety or whatever label could be given to it, a sense of powerlessness. How was that showing up for you in your physical health?
My sleep was terrible. So I was waking every night, 2 or 3 times a night. I never had a restful night's sleep. It was just a given that I would wake up to the day and rock up to work tired and fatigued. Energy was pretty much non-existent. I would make it through my workday. So it was like I sort of quarantined what little bit I had for my work days. And then the rest of the week was recovery. So I was sleeping on my days off. I was at my heaviest weight.
Yeah.
I didn't have the energy to exercise or cook healthy, nutritious meals. I was eating too much takeaway. I was well on the way to having diabetes, which I was diagnosed with a month after I joined. My inflammation levels just were going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I I was popping Panadol and Nurofen every other day.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that common pattern, right, of just keep going, just keep pushing through until that point where you felt like you couldn't anymore. Your back is up against the wall. And
Yeah.
then what happened after that? Obviously, we had our conversation.
Well, it was very serendipitous the
Mm.
way, that call came and found me at exactly the time I needed to be found,
Yeah.
for all the right reasons. And yeah, we had the call, and I just had to jump.
Mm.
I didn't know what it was going to be about, but I'm a smart, intelligent woman. I had strategies, I had tools in my toolkit,
Yeah.
but they just weren't working.
Okay.
They just weren't working. So I just had to take a blind leap of faith.
Yeah.
And which is,
And there was a lot of uncertainty, wasn't there?
there
It was
was.
like, even though there was a clear knowing it had to change, there was still fear in the unknown of change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was like, what is this going to look like for me?
Yeah.
Is this going to work?
Yeah.
Is
What
this
if this
just going to
doesn't
be
work?
another one of those things?
Yeah.
And I can remember that call where, you just kept prodding me and prodding me.
Holding you and giving you a little love slap over this direction, a little one this way.
And I distinctly remember, I was like, but I need to know, like, that's just how it works. I need to, I have to have the project. And you just looked at me with love and said, and how's that worked out for you?
Some people do say that I am direct, but it's filled with love.
Exactly what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And that was, from then on, like, even though it took me a little while to actually come onto the course, from that point on, it just sat with me. I was just like, this is where I need to go. This is where I need to be.
So there was some power in making a decision then. And also not just making a decision, not just like, there's a difference between interested, like I'm interested in getting better, versus committed. So you've made a decision and then you've got help and you said, yes, I'm doing this, and noticed that it sat well with you.
Yeah, because that was probably my place of total disempowerment. I just did not feel I had control over anything at that point.
Yeah.
I was just bobbing along wherever the weather took me. But yeah, that sort of, I guess, gave me like hope.
Yeah.
That I could start a new journey where I might learn new things that resonated and worked and set me free again.
Yeah. As you said, you're a smart person, and so it's not, there's some basis to your decision too. But you had the courage to take that leap.
I did. It took a bit of courage, but yeah, I did.
And one that our team is celebrating for sure. So then you did Finding Bliss.
I did.
And tell us a little bit about where you're at right now then. How's life now after
Life's
this?
great. Life's great. It's just, I can't even tap into what it felt like previously. Even when, I'm going through a stage of being in the negative turn or processing, it's just not at that same level. it's so much more raised from where it was in the past.
Because challenges are still going to happen, aren't they, Megan? You don't just make this decision. The universe says, okay, fine.
You think you've got that? Here's another lesson for you.
Yes.
And that's okay. That's okay, because now, now having lived the tools and lived the course and been held accountable now for 12 months, I've got like a big bag of tools that I feel super confident to use and have power over when I choose to do them and how I choose to do them and what tools I need to bring to the table given the circumstances.
Oh, such power.
So much power. And that's, that's really one of the things I'm celebrating at the moment, is just that empowerment and the insight, that I can recognize what's going on. And it's like, there's that story again. I'm not listening to you today.
Oh, I'm so funny. Here I go again. Good one.
There it is again.
I like your sassiness though.
Yeah. And so that just feels so good to know that you're not just at the whim of what gets thrown at you, that you have the power to be able to not even just react, but to put in place things that give your life direction and meaning the way you want it to look. So it's not just the tools to be able to react when things occur, but, to set up, this is how I want my life to look.
So how is life looking then? It's really good, but what have you noticed? What's happening?
What's happening? Well, my physical health is a lot better. So sleep has improved. I have control of my diabetes, so I'm not on any medication. I'm diet controlled, and my last levels were within normal limits. So that's super encouraging. They were in non-diabetic limits. My cholesterol's come down. My inflammatory markers are the lowest they've been in over a decade, which has a huge impact on my muscle sort of aches and pains.
Yes.
So, I can get around with a whole lot more ease and, and I sit on the floor all day playing with babies and children, and I can get up and down off the floor now without grunting and groaning.
Now you're going to get that momentum. Every time you're grunting and groaning in the past, it's like, oh, I'm getting old. Now it's like, oh, look at me.
Yeah, look at me. I'm kicking it. I'm so much more productive. I don't hibernate in my room.
Yeah.
I show up as a mum.
What have your family noticed, or what do they get to enjoy? How are they enjoying having Megan back?
So they notice that I'm part of the family again. So they've commented on that. They feel that I'm a lot happier, that I laugh a lot more, that I'm more confident, that I'm back in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
Because they love that.
Beautiful.
That, I'm willing to socialize and go out and have fun and have day trips as a family again. So
which is going to help your physical health and everything.
Yeah.
Connection, it helps.
Yeah, because even the good stuff was a chore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so different.
And your work, how is that flowing into your work then? Because you do.
So I found the joy again.
Work. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I found the joy again. My work, it's one of my purposes. It's where I'll stay for my career probably. because I just love it. I just have a passion for it.
Yeah.
And that had gone missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's back again. So I just, I can feel that, being a therapist, you create connections with families, and you're showing up with empathy and compassion every day. And when
Yeah.
that goes missing,
Oh, I
it's
hear
just
you.
not the same.
Yeah.
And so to show up with every patient and just feel, that connection with them again.
That's shining, isn't it? It's so
Oh, it's
beautiful.
just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. It just makes it all so much more worthwhile, meaningful, and the outcomes are just better for the kids and their families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True purpose.
Yeah.
You get to actually have a cup full so you can give it to these people and serve.
That's it. That's it. Because,
which is joy. It's joy. You're
yeah.
creating their happiness. It's joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's lovely. So what really helped? Like, what do you find? You've mentioned having, I love what you were saying. You mentioned about having, hello puppy, having a toolbox and having tools and having the discernment to know, well, first of all, trust that you know how to use them, but discernment what tool to use and when and how long and all of that sort of stuff. But in particular, what's really, apart from that, is there anything else that has really helped? Because like you said, I'm a smart, intelligent woman, capable. You've been a therapist. You know what health is about. You know how to eat healthy. You know what a healthy lifestyle is. All of that, and yet you felt very burnt out. What else has really been instrumental in terms of your journey that has got you to where you are right now, which is very different to pre-Finding Bliss?
It was actually something quite unexpected, to be honest. I have spent my whole adult life in a medical scientific model, and I approach everything from that perspective, and I analyze and I rationalize and I think about it, and then I put a mindset tool into place, and then we go from there. But they are still really super important, and I still use them a lot.
Yeah.
But the things that make change for me are the emotions, and getting into the emotions and looking after my spirituality, and trying to elevate how I feel throughout the day rather than getting stuck in my head all the time. So I know when I'm starting to feel off, it's usually that I'm stuck in my head and then I'm ruminating about something. And if I just get out of my head and do some meditation or do some mantra and really focus on getting back to nature, using gratitude, compassion, acceptance, being present in the moment, get out of my head and just notice what's going on around me and get into the feeling of what that's about. And if I do that, this moment and the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, if I'm at a low spot, then that over time lifts me back up again. And then my baseline is lifted, and then I can move on from there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I think gratitude, compassion, and acceptance are my three go-tos every day without fail. And they just come naturally into my consciousness now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you've done the work, haven't you, to really address the patterns that can hijack you from being in your heart space or being in a space of acceptance, compassion, gratitude. A lot of people are like, oh, gratitude. Yeah, absolutely. We know it. It's there. It's scientifically based. But there's a difference between here and embodiment. And so the gift has been taking it from an understanding to a true place of embodiment or wisdom, lived,
a lived
experience.
experience. Yeah.
Mm.
Which has been, and I've talked about this on the course, it feels, because that's where my true authentic self is in my heart. You know, that's where I live from. But growing up and society as general, I think we get very much caught up in success being about achievement and what we're doing and what we've done and where we're going, and not about how we're being.
Yeah.
And so I've certainly struggled with that for a really long time, because success for me was measured by what I achieved. And so now that I've come to realize that living my life authentically to me and coming from a heart space is okay, and then that's me living my true life and accepting that that's all right.
Yeah.
Like that just feels like coming home.
Let me ask you, does it take away the success, the external success then?
No, not at all. Not at all, because you could still strive and have goals and achieve, but you're coming at it from a different perspective.
Coming from it.
So you're coming at it from, how does this make me feel? And, you know, you're not attached to what the outcome might be. It's about the process of doing it. And, you know, when you're sitting with that client, it's about what it feels like in the moment and not what it looks like in an hour's time from now.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And you know, it just across the all parts of my life. Oh, it just feels good.
And what I'm noticing or appreciating, Megan, is it sounds like a journey from the striving that comes from I'm not enough.
Oh,
you know, let's seek this success out there to fill a void in here, an external validation or external measure. But what I'm really resonating or feeling or noticing in you is that actually when you come home, as you put it, which is this place of whole or enough, or that feeling state, that vibrational state, then I get to relax, I get to be present. Yeah, like that's what I'm noticing with you.
Oh, absolutely. I lived my life. I did not know how to give myself validation. It was all about seeking external validation. And if it didn't come, then I had to work harder and I had to do more and I had to be better, because clearly if I'm not receiving it, then I'm not doing enough to get it. You know, and from a little girl, my grandma used to say to me, good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good is better and the better best. And that's how I grew up. And that's fine too. But it just doesn't resonate with me. And it's something I've fought against my entire life. And so, you know, I am a high achiever and I still achieve great things.
Yeah.
But I achieve it for different reasons. And the process of achieving it is so much better.
Yeah.
Much
well, you're better.
You're
better.
You know?
So therefore the outcome's going to be better. You can take the same action, but if you're coming from it at that perspective, wow, the outcome, the work that you do with your kids is going to be very different if you're there striving for something.
Absolutely. And you get to define what success is.
Yeah.
You know, it can be whatever you think success should look like for you, and it can change.
Yep.
And you've got the power to decide what it needs to be.
I love it. I love it so much. So clearly, it's been such a rich conversation, and clearly there'll be women who resonate with what you've shared, Megan. And in that state of, my back's up against the wall, or knowing like I'm a smart person, or I should be able to get out of this.
I know all about the should.
We know we've got that top 10 hit. We got that cassette that's playing over and over here.
Yeah.
We got that one. And for them, considering about making that decision like you did, like you said, I made a decision. It's enough. What would you say to them? What would some words of encouragement be that you would say to them?
I would say that if you're in the space where you're considering this, then you're clearly at a place where you don't want to be, and that you want to move from there. And if you're committed to move from that place and find a better place and improve your physical and mental health with a group of women who have your back, and leaders who they just know what they're doing, and they care, they genuinely care about you and your journey and how to help you get there. And if you need to be held accountable, I've signed up for those courses and they don't get done. But this one, you're held accountable. You do the practices, you put the work in, you show up in the groups, you show up on Facebook, and you live the experience. And if you're prepared to do that, the changes in 9 weeks is crazy. I had no concept that I could go from where I was to the person I would be at 9 weeks. So if that's what you want, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it in the right way.
That's it,
Yeah.
And there's no judgment, and there's no, it's all about helping you to help yourself. And there's no wagging fingers, and there's no, it's just supportive and loving and caring and knowledge and wisdom and empathy, and it's all of it.
With a few loving love slaps and a few directives and keeping you accountable.
Absolutely.
Because love has boundaries.
Yeah. It's like, let's do it. You're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So beautiful, Megan. Women around the world, I think the recent studies are like 1 in 2 are feeling burnt out. And it's just a time where it's our time. So really, thank you so much, Megan, for being that light and showing women, if they've even been diagnosed with depression or anxiety, or if they've got diabetes, or the smart intellectual women who should be doing it all and I should just keep going and figure it out, that there is another path to healing. And all we need to do is make a decision and lean in.
That's it.
And take that one step after another step.
That's it.
To get from here and come home to here. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Beautiful. And from my heart, I'm so grateful that we had that conversation and you're a part of our community and, expanding.
I love being there.
I know. Yes, and we love having you there. So here's to another awesome month's unfolding of more bliss and more true success and the rest of it. So thank you so much, everyone.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Megan. And so for anyone who is at that point, as Megan has so beautifully described, and, if you've got concerns or uncertainty, then it doesn't matter. All you need to do is book a call, reach out to our team so we can have a conversation. We may not be a good fit. It's our job to determine whether or not we can help you. And so lean in, book that clarity call with myself or one of our team members, and we can get you that serve you in that, to get you that clarity and determine whether or not Finding Bliss is going to be right for you. And you too may be here celebrating like Megan, which is so wonderful. And from our hearts, thank you so much. We hope everyone has a wonderful day, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If you would like to subscribe and keep in touch, then click on my head and you'll subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to book a call with our team for an amazing life-changing experience, then click on the button beneath this, which is book a clarity session, or go to our website, findingbliss.com.au/apply, and be sure to fill out a short application form to secure the opportunity. Awesome. Stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you on our next session. Big love.